Lee is a central character in East of Eden, written by John Steinbeck. Published in 1952, the novel explores themes of good and evil, free will, and human nature through intertwined family stories in California's Salinas Valley. Lee is a Chinese-American servant, philosopher, and confidant to the Trask family. Despite initially presenting himself through a stereotypical persona, he reveals himself to be highly educated, introspective, and morally insightful, becoming one of the novel's most intellectually significant figures. One character story. Lee's story unfolds gradually, beginning with his arrival as a servant in the Trask household. At first, he adopts a broken English accent and submissive demeanor, deliberately performing the stereotype expected of Chinese immigrants in America at the time. This disguise protects him from prejudice while allowing him to observe others freely. However, Lee soon reveals his true self to Samuel Hamilton and Adam Trask. In private, he speaks fluent, articulate English, and demonstrates deep intellectual curiosity. He shares his lifelong struggle with identity, caught between Chinese heritage and American society, yet belonging fully to neither. This duality defines much of his personal journey. Lee becomes a central caretaker of Adam's twin sons, Cal and Aaron, after their mother, Kathy, abandons the family. In raising them, he shows patience, wisdom, and emotional depth, effectively acting as both parent and moral guide. His bond with the boys is particularly strong, as he attempts to nurture goodness in them while recognizing the inevitability of inner conflict. One of Lee's most significant contributions is his involvement in the philosophical discussion of the Hebrew word timshul, meaning thou mayest. Alongside Samuel Hamilton and Adam, Lee studies biblical texts to interpret the story of Cain and Abel. He concludes that timshul implies that humans have the choice to overcome sin rather than being destined for it. This idea becomes a cornerstone of the novel's moral framework. Throughout the narrative, Lee remains a stabilizing force. He supports Adam through emotional crises, guides Cal during moments of moral confusion, and consistently represents reason and compassion. By the end of the novel, Lee is no longer merely a servant, but an integral member of the family, embodying wisdom earned through both suffering and reflection. Two role in the narrative. Lee functions as the intellectual and moral center of East of Eden. While other characters are driven by passion, guilt, or ambition, Lee provides clarity and philosophical grounding. His role is not to dominate the plot through action, but to shape its meaning through interpretation. He serves as a bridge between cultures and perspectives. His outsider status allows him to observe human behavior with a unique detachment, making his insights particularly valuable. Through conversations with Adam, Samuel, and later Cal, Lee articulates the novel's central themes, especially the concept of moral choice. Additionally, Lee acts as a surrogate parent and emotional anchor for the Trask family. His presence ensures continuity and stability, particularly during times of crisis. Without Lee, the narrative would lack a cohesive moral voice and a guiding perspective on the character's struggles. 3. Symbolic significance. Lee symbolizes wisdom, balance, and the possibility of self-definition beyond societal expectations. His dual identity reflects the broader human struggle to reconcile inner truth with external perception. By rejecting the limitations imposed on him, Lee embodies intellectual freedom and moral autonomy. He also represents the theme of timshul, the belief in human choice. Unlike characters who feel trapped by their nature or past, Lee understands that individuals can shape their own destinies. His life itself is a testament to this idea, as he consciously constructs his identity and worldview. It is likely that Steinbeck created Lee to serve as a philosophical voice within the novel. Through Lee, Steinbeck could explore complex ideas about morality, identity, and free will in a clear and accessible way. Lee's outsider perspective also allows the author to critique social prejudice and highlight the limitations of cultural stereotypes. Readers widely regard Lee as one of the most compelling and admirable characters in East of Eden. He is often praised for his intelligence, kindness, and emotional depth. Many see him as a moral compass of the story, a character who provides hope and clarity in a narrative filled with conflict and ambiguity. His discussions of timshul, are frequently cited as some of the most memorable and impactful moments in the novel. For conclusion, Lee is introduced as a seemingly simple servant, but emerges as one of the most profound characters in East of Eden. His concise identity as a wise, reflective, and compassionate figure evolves throughout the story, revealing layers of intellectual and emotional complexity. Symbolically, Lee represents the power of self-determination and the importance of moral choice. Through his understanding of Timshel, he embodies a belief that individuals are not bound by fate, but are capable of choosing their own paths. This idea resonates deeply within the novel's broader exploration of human nature. Readers consistently value Lee as a source of wisdom and stability. His ability to navigate cultural identity, offer guidance, and articulate the novel's central themes makes him a standout character. Ultimately, Lee's presence transforms the narrative, elevating it from a family saga to a philosophical exploration of what it means to be human.